Unfiltered Soccer here at the 2025 MLS All-Star Game. He is one of the top MVP contenders. Nobody talks about him, Tim, except me. He currently leads MLS in assists with 13. Big reason why my hometown team, San Diego FC, are top of the Western Conference, none other than Anders Dreyer. All right, Anders, thank you for joining us. I think for a lot of people, they don't realize San Diego is, I think it's the 8th biggest city in our country by population, but it's very small. You know, I live there and you live there now. It's very small. So people still don't know a lot about San Diego in general, San Diego FC, and they don't know a lot about you yet, but you have come onto the scene very quickly. And I think this is an opportunity too for people to learn about you. So can you just tell us, you know, where you grew up? People don't know a lot about you, kind of your path to get to San Diego.
Yeah, I can. I grew up in a small village in Denmark. Started my playing football as a 3 years old. Always with my dad. He was a coach for a team, and went with him in the bus on away trips and watched games and playing football on the side when they were playing 11 against 11, and it was funny. And I remember these away trips in my memory. And then I moved to a bigger club in Denmark, and then after I think 1.5 years in the first team, I went to Brighton in England. Didn't succeed. Level from Denmark to the Premier League was maybe too high. So I took a step down, went back to the Superliga, to Midtjylland, and from there I've been traveling to Russia. Then I came back because the war happened in Ukraine, and then I went to Anderlecht, and now I'm in San Diego.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How does it come about now that you come to San Diego? Like, how did that process? How did they find you? How did Tyler get to know you and find you?
I think it happened also quick as well. I had a very good season in Anderlecht the year before, the season 23-24. Started the season in Anderlecht and played until the January transfer window in Europe and the window here. And then I wanted to leave, and then San Diego, and I had good speech with of course Mikey and Tyler, and I also think the Right to Dream project, which is also in Denmark, in Nordsjælland. I played against them a lot of times. They knew me as a player, and yeah, I think there are these small things in football in the world, like you also guys know it, and then sometimes it goes hand in hand, and then some weeks after my first talks with Tyler, I was sitting in San Diego in a San Diego jersey.
Wow.
Yeah, and take us a little bit deeper into that, right? Because you're a player with ambition. You talked about Brighton and obviously Anderlecht. These are big clubs, and you want to continue to grow. And at what point in the conversation did they sell you on that dream? Did they say San Diego is a place where, one, you can come and thrive, also be a cornerstone of this franchise, but at what point did you say, this is the place I want to be?
No, first of all, I also think like you said with Brighton and Anderlecht, it's big clubs, but you also come to a club with a history, you know, and then San Diego FC, of course, totally new team, and you can be a part of creating that culture and like what people gonna talk about San Diego when they're gonna talk about it. It's so nice to be a part of that and being a part of creating a new club with all my teammates, with the staff and so on. And then of course also a big dream for me to go to the MLS.
Really?
Yeah. And then now was the chance, and with this way of play is also important because, like I said before, I knew the way of play from Nordsjælland in Denmark, and the way they play, I've always been after the game. That would be nice to play like this. And now I'm playing that style of football, and I just enjoy it every training and every game. To play that way of football is just so much fun.
Yeah,
I'm curious. So, in Denmark, there's not that much travel, right? Not crazy. In Belgium, zero.
Yeah.
In Russia, yes, right? Like there are some long flights. And so how have you adapted? Clearly well, because you've played well. Has it been hard to adapt to the weather, the different climates? You know, you're at altitude 1 week, humidity in Houston the next week. You're flying to New York the next week. Has that been difficult? How's that been for you?
Yeah, it's tough. it is because it's long travels and of course, like you said, with the humidity and the altitude. And I still remember our game in Denmark against Colorado. I think it's with the altitude. It was tough. It is tough. Also here in Austin, it was also tough. But that's a part of learning that, and I think it's also our first year as a club. And I think, we have people who's been in the league and they can tell you how it's gonna be, but you don't know it before you tried it. So I think it's just a learning process as well, and to try it. And then this season it's been good, but also for the next season coming up, that we know how it's gonna be, and you know personally how it's gonna be to travel to these places.
Now, let's talk about San Diego FC. So when I think about Landon and all the success that his great LA Galaxy teams had, every year they're going into it as front runners, or they should win, and they're a perennial playoff team. But San Diego had nothing. So you go into this preseason, and now you're flying. You're near at the top of the West. Are you surprised how quickly this came together? Because in preseason, you mentioned, like, there's a way of playing and there's a style, but you bring all these players together, you probably have some good moments. Did you think you could be this far along this soon?
No, I also think we are a little bit surprised about how good it's been so far. Let's be honest about that. But I still think when you have a way of playing, it helps you a lot, because there will be injuries throughout the season, and when you have a way of play and the guys who's on the bench and comes in, they know what to do. But yeah, of course, if you told me it would be like this in preseason, I would maybe be like, okay, let's see. Sure. But now we're just enjoying the ride so far, and I think we had a very, very good start of the season with a lot of points, and then 3 games in a row we lost, and I think when you look at that now, I think that was a key moment for us, because maybe in the beginning we're like, everything is perfect, but then you hit a rock or whatever you say, and then you drop and you lose 3 times in a row, and you learn from that. That's not something you really like to.
Agreed.
And I think after that we kept that good consistent level, and so I think that period with 3 losses in a row have been very important for us as a club, a totally new club, and a team, of course. But it's also like that when you come in and it's a totally new club, it's 25 new players getting together. There's also another energy, because when you played in clubs where you go and you come in the dressing room, there will always be a group who want to leave, who want to go, and there's a group it's okay, and a group they controlling it, and and here it's like everybody's equal. And
it's great.
And I think that's been also very important. Our locker room, it's been top.
I'm sure if I ask you, I'm sure your answer is yes. You still have ambition to keep playing for Denmark. You've played 5 times?
Yeah, 5 times.
Yeah. Are you hearing from them at all? How do they view, how do the coaches, how do people in Denmark view Major League Soccer? Your season could not have gone better for you personally. It could not have gone. So I'm guessing they have to be paying attention. Are you hearing from them? Are you?
Yeah, I am. And I think also I was going to the Euros, but without getting any minutes. And I think then I was left out of the squad. Yeah, and then in the friendlies in June, I went back on the national team after performing over here. Yeah. So I think, the way I have been doing over here in the MLS have brought me back, maybe to the national team.
I guess do they view? Obviously, they're viewing you favorably. Do they view MLS as, well, it's not high enough level for you to be back, or have they said to you, look, if you keep going this way?
No, I think that I know what you think, but in the beginning of the MLS and stuff like that, also years back, maybe they thought like MLS is not so good level, but I think they started to realize maybe it is a good league. Definitely. And I think that's also important, and I think it's also nice that I came back to the national team when I was playing over here, that's because then people start to know maybe they're gonna start to watch some of the MLS. So I think it's nice.
Question about you personally: How many MLS MVP did you win?
1.
So I want you to join this conversation. So
thanks.
Right now,
thanks for letting me join.
No, you can jump in.
Appreciate that.
You have 11 goals, 15 assists. You're talked about in our circle, in the broader circle, as an MVP candidate. And I'm just curious, if those numbers even get remotely higher, you're in that conversation. Do you allow yourself to think that is a motivation for me, or is it just business as usual? Like, is that important?
For me, the most important thing is the team, and I think players who play on a team which is successful will be
viewed better.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, that's the most important thing, because I know if we're gonna win every game 1-0, then it's gonna be good in the end of. And one player can't win the game alone.
Sure.
So I think it's always the team, and it's always been, and then there will always be guys. And now we have 3 guys as well here, which is showing that we're doing a good job. And it's also the guys that are back home now in San Diego, that's their credit that we're here.
Sure. I mean, in your MVP season, was there a point where you just knew you were flying? Was that something that you were conscious of?
The irony is I played every year except 3. We made the playoffs, and one of the times the time I won MVP, we didn't make the playoffs. So I was playing like the best I'd ever played, but we didn't make. But to your point, I didn't feel good. Like at the end of the year, it didn't feel good. Sure. It was not an enjoyable year, so it was disappointing.
Interesting.
Right. I just want to follow up real quick on we always try to figure out, where do different leagues compare to Major League Soccer, right? Because it's hard to compare one to the other. Stylistically, they're different. But having played in Denmark, Russia, and Belgium, how do you compare the quality of the 4 leagues?
I think that's a good question. I think you have the big 5 leagues, the top 5 leagues, and then I think the Portuguese league as well. But I think now I played in Belgium, and I think the level is similar to the Belgian football.
It is,
and
from
that's
top
pretty
to bottom.
High. Yeah. I think it is. I think the level over here is better than the Danish league. The Russian league as well, but now the Russian league it's changed a little bit, of course, with what happened. But I think the MLS league is a good level of football, and there are very, very good players in this league that keeps the level high, and which is important for the league. But no, I put it very high, and I put it like next to Belgium, maybe higher, and then you have, of course, the big 5 leagues.
Wow. All right, we'll get you out of here on this. So I live in San Diego now.
Nice.
You live in a higher, closer to the water part of San Diego than I do. But I'm curious, what do you love most about the city? What has drawn you to the city? What do you like about it? Or what do you not like about it? I guess
there's nothing to not like about San Diego.
No, I think, like, for me, a dream has always been to also play in a league country, a place where the weather was good. And I love that, going to training in flip-flops, shorts and t-shirts. That's amazing, and that's a part that I don't think I'm getting tired of that. After a tough session, that me, my wife, and my boy can go to the beach and lay there for a couple of hours or whatever. That's something that is, I'm driving home in my car, like doing this if it's is a dream, but it isn't. So that's a thing that I really love about San Diego.
Well, we're gonna let you get out of here. We know All-Star Week is hectic and fun, and we wish you luck and success. Landon, because he's in San Diego, sees you all the time, loves you. I don't pay for many tickets to watch soccer, but I said you're so exciting that I'm looking forward to buying a ticket and watching you play. So thank you very much for coming on our show.
It's been awesome. Awesome to watch you. Continued success.
Thank you.
Making his first All-Star appearance, he played a key role for the U.S. at this summer's Gold Cup final run. None other than Max Arfsten.
All right, Max. Thanks for joining us. First of all, you just reminded me you grew up in Fresno. I'm sorry to hear that. That is, you ever been to Fresno?
Yeah, I've been to Fresno.
No offense, man, but
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you
It's
from?
not the best. Redlands.
You're from Redlands?
Yeah,
I'd
it's
rather
not
be-
Fresno.
I'd rather be from Fresno than Redlands.
No, you wouldn't. Trust me.
I agree with that.
All right, so Max, so for people still getting to know you, tell us a little bit about your story because it's a pretty unique story, and we'll dive into it a little more. So you grew up in Fresno. You ended up playing at UC Davis, which is
D1.
Oh, it's D1. UC Davis, but then you were in the Earthquakes Academy, right? Early?
No, so
Or you were potentially with the Earthquakes. And then
yeah. So it's kind of confusing, but I grew up in Fresno,
Mm.
and then I went to Davis for only 2 years. Just like that was my only offer. I went there, played there for 2 years, and then I got invited to this San Jose Earthquakes MLS Next Pros the first season, like this little combine with a bunch of college players. And from there, they wanted to sign me, and I kind of took a leap of faith, and I decided to do it just because I felt like at Davis there wasn't a lot of exposure for me to, hope to get drafted and all that stuff. So I went to San Jose with obviously hopes to, sign first team contract there, like anybody would in my situation. And then I played one season there, and then, at the end of that year, they just kind of told me I'm not in their plans. They wanted to go a different direction or whatever, but they were like, you can come to preseason in January because they were getting a new coach at that time. So they were like, just come to preseason, Lucci Gonzalez, he'll see you, and go from there. And I was kind of like, I guess, like I didn't have any other plans. And then I got a call a week later from my agent that I was still in the MLS draft because that would have been the year I was going to go to the draft, 23. Yeah. So they put me in the draft because San Jose didn't sign me. And then, then I got picked by
American
Columbus.
Soccer.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, but that is my story.
And then he ends up playing in a Gold Cup.
The people, the San Jose Earthquakes, ears are bleeding right now thinking like we missed one. But you missed. And that's the issue that we have so often in America, forget MLS, in the American soccer landscape is there's just so many misses. It's a crazy, but also I think as we watch you progress, that's the fun part of the book and the journey. That's how it started, and then obviously you flourished and found an incredible spot there. And what's it been like, kind of growing through the system? And you're a young player, and a lot of the young players that we've talked to today, thankfully, are now such big parts of their MLS club. Like what is that? Mm-hmm. What is that like to week in, week out feel like you're so heavily relied upon by your club, by your manager, by your teammates?
It's honestly awesome because my first year in Columbus, 23, we had a really good team. We won MLS Cup, but I wasn't a big part of it at all, to be honest with you. So I've been on the other side of it, like dying to be a part of it and wanting to be a part of the team's success. So now that I do have the chance, I never take it for granted. Yeah. You know what I mean? And every game I play, like no matter what, if it's midweek, Saturday, midweek, I never have like a complaining attitude of like having to play a lot of games because I've been on the other side of it. Sure. So I think it was the best thing for me, and I have a lot of pride, like you said, being a big part of the team now.
Yeah.
How do you describe the Gold Cup experience, like from start to finish? Because I think you probably expected you were going to play a decent amount or play some, but you became someone who was relied upon, and there were some roller coaster games and there were some crazy moments. So what did you take away from all that?
No, I think I grew so much mentally. I think that was the biggest thing and the best thing for me because, like you said, there was a lot of roller coasters. I mean, starting with the friendlies, 2 results that nobody wanted, bad results, and then going into Gold Cup, we had to flip the script, and it's not easy. I mean, I know you guys have obviously been there at higher levels too with the national team, but the vibe of the locker room is so important. And I think after those friendlies, it was a big turning point for us. We just had to decide to kind of put those 2 friendlies behind us, learn from it. And then individually for me, like you said, obviously going into it, I wanted to start and I wanted to play because that's what I wanted. And then there was a roller coaster because there was good moments and then there was bad moments. But I think I grew from it so much mentally, like being able to kind of like find myself the courage to like break through those bad moments, like on the field as they happened, and then come out on the other side. So for me, it was like I just feel like I got mentally stronger, and that just comes with the experience.
Yeah, the roller coaster means you're young. That's you only get through it and get better learning from those moments. When you play in these big games, which I'm going to speak for you, you probably dreamt of playing for your national team like we all had as a youngster. Now that you've had those moments, those big moments, the final against Mexico, we've been in them. We've been on the winning side and the losing side, and it sucks to lose and it's great to win. But like, how much has that whet your appetite for more of that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it makes me even hungrier and hungrier once you get that first experience and like that first taste of playing against Mexico. I mean, you guys know, like growing up for me, I didn't care what was going on. If USA's playing Mexico, I'm watching like with my family and I'm hyped. Yeah. So just to be able to be a part of that, I want to keep going, and I know that my performances at the club level or wherever wherever I'm playing is what matters most. So
Mhm.
I'm just gonna try and take control of what I can control. And yeah, obviously I'm hungry for more.
What
Great.
kind of coach, like, give us insight into Mauricio and like how you would compare him to Wilfred? Because you've now had, I mean, it's quite the story already at your, how old are you, 23?
24.
24, to have, those are two really good coaches, right, that have
For sure.
done
Yeah.
big things. So how do you compare them and how do you describe, I guess, the both of them?
Yeah, I would say Wilfred is extremely, extremely detailed
Mhm.
and super detailed with the tactics and on point with how he wants us to play. And he's pretty stern with that, like how we want to play, the shape and everything. And yeah, it's just like his phrases are ingrained in my mind just from training, honestly.
That's a good coach.
You have nightmares about
I
him.
swear, yeah, everything he says. And then, yeah, Pochettino, I feel like he's a coach that he wants his players to play to their strengths.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so he'll put you in positions to where he thinks you will shine. And then from there, he kind of, especially on the attacking side of the
Mhm.
ball, like do what you do. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like do what you like to do, play freely.
Hmm.
And so in that way, I think they are different and
Yeah.
it's good. I'm not saying one's right or the other's, wrong, but it's good. And I think it's good for me because it gives me two
Yeah.
different perspectives.
Sure.
You know what
Helps
I
you
mean?
grow.
It makes me more well-rounded. So it's super cool. And like you said, like those are two amazing coaches
Yeah.
to like have experience
Yeah.
with.
Do you view yourself, sorry, you've been like, where did you play at Davis? What position? Like, were you
I
in
was a winger.
Yeah, so to me, you have more winger instincts,
Mhm.
right? And I'm curious because now you're a left back. I think you're a left wing back. I've said this. Like, I think that is where your true position, because it's hard to be a left back.
Mhm.
Really hard, as you learned in some moments, right? In the Gold
Mhm.
Cup, like that's a tough. So, do you view yourself as a left wing back? How do you view yourself?
Yeah, I think I certainly view myself as a left wing back. That's why I play
Yeah.
every game with Columbus.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in the landscape of the national team, I know that it's a different system back four, but for me, I still want to play left back because that's where I was playing. And I know, like you said, it's different. But I think with anything in your career, like if you play a different system, it's going to take some time to adjust.
Mhm.
And I truly believe as the course of the tournament went on, I adjusted well.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, you
there
did.
were growing pains for sure, but I think that's like anything in life. You try something new, it's going to take time. So I'm embracing the challenge. I really am. And I just want to keep going.
You talked about the tactical kind of nous from both your club manager and from Poch. And I'm curious, when I watch Columbus, I see your manager. I look at the way you guys play and I go, that's his team. That's how he wants to play. With Poch, I'm curious to get your thoughts if you felt this. As the tournament went on, I'm watching the games and I'm thinking more like quarterfinal, semifinal, final. The final was hard because you got pinned back, so that's normal against Mexico. But like in the semifinal, quarterfinal, I'm looking at this tactically and I'm thinking, that's what Poch wants. I can see the inverted fullback. I could see the different positions. So that's a great thing. So Pochettino would probably say that's a great thing. I'm getting my message across. Could you guys feel that unfolding like that? It seemed to be more seamless tactically.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think just once we got, because we were together for a long time,
Mhm.
and once you're together more, playing more, then it just becomes more seamless.
Yeah,
Those different movements people have on the field,
Sure.
and when to go, when to stay,
Yeah.
like to press or to not to press. So it takes time, especially like he's a relatively new manager still
Yes.
for the U.S. So then once it starts to get clicking and you're in a flow, like you said when you saw it,
Mhm.
it's clean
Yeah.
and it's nice. So
Yeah.
for sure.
Great.
All right, something this is really blowing my mind because I don't see this often, maybe if ever. So you're left-footed,
Yeah.
very left-footed, but you're so good on your right
Mhm.
foot. And I can't say never, but I can't remember another player I saw that I was like,
Yeah.
a left-footed player. There's a lot of right-footed players who are good with
Mhm.
their left foot.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? Like the goal you scored against Costa Rica that's a really hard
Mhm.
finish and good finish for someone right-footed like me.
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
and you're a left-footed player. So where did that come from? How did you develop that? Because I think it's good for young kids to learn that.
Yeah, honestly, for me, just when I started playing, I loved dribbling with my left foot.
Mm.
Like that was always what I did, and then so I was from there naturally left-footed. But for me, like I swear, like my dad or someone just always told me to practice shooting with my right, and
Good.
like just make sure your right foot is as good as your left. And like my dad didn't even like play soccer really at a high
I
level,
hope you
but
gave him credit.
yeah,
You just
but
did.
yeah, but like I swear, like I just for some reason, like at a young age, I was always like I need to be as good with my
Mm.
right as I am with my left, like. And then I never really thought about it after that. You know what I mean? Like it just was always how I tried to be.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's basically the
Have
story.
you come across guys like I can't think of another left-footed player. I'm trying to like rack my brain
Because normally lefties are really lefty.
Really lefty.
Yeah.
very lefty, and it's
Yeah.
one thing to like in a moment have to clear a ball 40 yards with your right footer, but like to get in that position and the ball's coming and to just roll it into the far post calmly, you looked like you were right-footed in that moment. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, because the way the weight of the pass was, it made more sense for me to open up my hips. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And go with my right foot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you said, most people that are like 2-footed are mainly right-footed for whatever reason.
Correct.
So I can't really think right now.
All right. Well, if you figure it out, let people
I got
know
you.
because it's a good thing to have. A couple more, and then we'll let you get out of here. I know you're tired. You've had a long day, so thank you. So you've been part now of Hell is Real in U.S. Mexico. It's not apples to apples, but do they feel the same? How do you compare them? What was the vibe?
To me, nothing compares to USA Mexico. Like that ranks at the top in terms of intensity and the pressure of the game and just what it means. You know what I mean? Because like we're talking, like the pride of a country is what you're playing for. You know what I mean? So I would say that one. Hell is Real is also, I think, a very good rivalry though.
It really
in
is.
MLS. Like I think Columbus and Cincy have like one of the best fan bases in MLS. I really believe
It's
that.
fun.
But for me, USA Mexico, nothing compares.
Well, you seem to have such an. You talked about watching the games when you were growing up. You have such a keen sense of the rivalry. I'm excited for you to play in Azteca for the U.S. It's one of the most incredible. It's one of the most incredible.
Terrible, dude.
Well, yeah, but
it's fun.
It's incredible just the history of that rivalry to play there. It's special. Listen, we appreciate you coming on our show. I know our listeners are excited. They are so hungry for the U.S. men's national team. Brilliant summer and continued success.
And I would just say to you, you don't control what happens next, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not here to be your parent or your mentor, but if you don't get called in next time, what you do with Columbus matters a lot now. And then you playing well just keeps putting pressure on the coach to bring you in. Now you have a body of work that you can say, look, I had 6 great games in a row. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun to watch you grow, man, and we wish you the best.
No, I appreciate you guys a lot. Seriously. Thank you.
Good luck.
Max, thank you.
Thank you
Good
guys.
job.